Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Dave and today we'll be taking another look at the iPod Touch 7th generation. Now, I've already posted a video unboxing and taking a look at this iPod, and that video got over 30,000 views, so thank you so much for that. And if you're enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe. It only takes a few seconds and it helps out a lot. Thank you so much. However, ever since I posted that video, I've had so many questions about the iPod Touch 7 and whether is it still usable today, which apps still work on it and whatnot. So yeah, let's take a look into that. So let's start with the most asked question, and that is, does YouTube still work on this iPod Touch? And yes, it does. Let me just show you how you can get it. So if you go into the App Store, and of course you do the obvious, and that's to look it up. I typed in YouTube, but yeah, it should still find it, and here we go, YouTube. If you take a closer look, it says that this requires iOS 16 or later. Now, sadly, this iPod only goes up to iOS 15. But when you try to download it, it'll ask you if you want to download the latest compatible version. And you just say yes or download, and it'll start downloading. So we can see that the app is installing right about now. Yes, of course, this took a while because this is quite an old device. But once done, you just open it. And here we go. You can see that YouTube works completely fine. So if we search for my channel, which is Dave on Tech, that's right here. And yep, YouTube works perfectly fine. You can even select 1080p if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can select 1080p. Of course, this is not a 1080p screen, only like 720p, but yeah, you can see it works perfectly. And now for my second most asked question, and that's whether TikTok still works. So just like before, let's try that. As you can see, TikTok is just downloading, so that's a good sign. And it didn't even ask me if I want to download the latest compatible version. And that's because TikTok requires iOS 12, I think. Let me just double check. So if we go here, yeah. So TikTok requires iOS 12, and this is on iOS 15. So of course it'll work perfectly. And the cool thing is that this will also work on the iPod Touch 6th generation, which only went up to iOS 12. So let's just wait for it to download, and yeah, we'll see if it works. Now, it did take a bit for this to download, but yeah, once it's downloaded, it should work just fine. So let's have a look. And yep, just as expected, this works just fine. So here's my TikTok profile. Now, it did take a bit to load up, but yeah, this is usable. Let's just turn it up a bit. And there you have it, TikTok on the iPod Touch. Works perfectly. So what about games? Well, here are some of my favorite ones that I still play to this date. Let's start with GTA Vice City. And yeah, I've used to play this a lot back when I was a kid on my PC and on my PlayStation 2. So let's just see. Yep, tap to continue, and let's just load a save. And would you look at that? GTA Vice City on your iPod Touch. Works perfectly fine. Will I get busted here? No, I didn't. Now look at this. It seems to be running in, I don't know, at like 60 FPS or something. Maybe not 60, but 40 to 50. Yeah. GTA Vice City, iPod Touch, there you go. So what about a lighter game? Let's say hill climb racing, for example. I'm not going to rate it, but let's go. Whoop. It does drop a few frames here and there, but just take a look. This is perfectly usable. Runs quite well. And finally, let's try some old school RuneScape. Now, Sailing just got released, and if you still play RuneScape today, feel free to drop a comment down below. I've been actually playing this game for over 20 years now, so yeah. Now, I'm not going to log into the game, but trust me, this works perfectly. And again, that's old school RuneScape on your 4-inch iPod Touch. What else would you want? And now for a few more tips. Make sure you're updated to the latest iOS, which should be 8 Yeah, 15.8.5. Now, fun fact, this was released just a few months ago, back in September. And yeah, the vast majority of apps, and I would almost say all of them, actually still work fine on this iPod. Yes, indeed, iOS 15 will start dropping support for newer apps, but again, most of your apps should still work just fine. Because after all, this is an iPhone 7 at its core. It has the same processor, same 2 gigs of RAM. Yeah, the processor is a bit underclocked, so it does perform similarly to the A9 inside of the iPhone 6s and not the A10 inside of the iPhone 7. But again, it's still perfectly usable. Battery life, on the other hand, yeah, there's no getting around it. It's bad. When brand new, this iPod Touch had a battery of 1040 milliamp hours. So basically 1000 milliamp hours. And honestly, that sounds like a joke today. Compared to, say, the iPhone 17 Pro Max with its 5000 milliamp hour battery. So yeah, so even the iPhone Air has a 3149 milliamp hour battery, which is 3 times larger than this. But speaking of the iPhone Air, let's just take a look at the thickness of these two devices. And hopefully this will focus, and just take a look at this. So the iPod Touch is basically just as thin as the iPhone Air. Technically, the iPhone Air is a tiny bit thinner, but you can't really tell the difference in real life. And keep in mind, this design was introduced 13 years ago with the iPod Touch 5th generation, so that's quite impressive. Yeah, this is also impressive, but again, this is 13-year-old design, so Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in the iPhone Air, let me know down below and I'll drop a video about it too, because yeah, I would like to compare it to my iPhone 17 Pro Max, and I really do love this device. But yeah, back to the battery. It's quite weak. It lasts for about 2 to 3 hours of, screen on time and games, which is fine, I guess. And it lasts up to 5 hours if you're listening to music via Bluetooth or the headphone jack, because yes, this is one of the last ever Apple devices to ship with a headphone jack. But it sounds good, and the output power is actually quite high. It's capable of driving even like higher impedance headphones. And yeah, that's quite impressive for such a thin and light device. And yeah, speaking of music, it also supports the latest AirPods 4 with ANC, and of course the AirPods Pro 3. So if we open this, it should technically connect, and yeah, you can see it right here. Now, it doesn't show the proper icon because yeah, iOS 15 is from 4 years ago, and these were launched just a few months ago, so of course it doesn't support them. But it works, that's the cool thing. Even though the icon isn't the proper one, it's just a generic headphone icon, and you won't be getting features such as adaptive audio or spatial audio. Everything else works perfectly. You can use the latest AirPods Pro 3s to listen to music, use active noise cancellation, transparency mode, all of those work fine. It's just that it won't show the proper icon and the description, but who cares, honestly? It works. And yeah, speaking of music, we also have Apple Music, which works perfectly fine. Of course, you will need a subscription for Apple Music, but yeah, it works fine. It even supports Dolby Atmos, lossless audio. I don't want to get copyright strike, but yeah, Apple Music works perfectly fine, which was one of the other questions that many people have asked me. And same goes with Spotify. It's fully supported, it works, you can use your AirPods, you can download music locally. So yeah, this is a very modern music player. Just think about this. Go to Spotify, download your favorite songs, connect your AirPods, and put this in your pocket. It's 80 grams, you won't even feel it. So if you want a modern music player, this is it. But yeah, that's not here nor there. The point of this video is that this iPod is still 100% usable today. All of your apps will still work, and for music, it's perfect. So should you pick one up today going into 2026? And yes, of course, don't even think about it. If you want a small and thin, yet premium Apple device that you only use for music, games, yeah, this is it. Now, honestly, I wouldn't pay more than, say, $120 for this, but I have seen them go up in price as of late, because after all, this is the last iPod that Apple has ever made, so it has some value, I guess. They are starting to slowly become a collector's device, so yeah. Either way, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them down here. And of course, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you in my next video. This was Dave on Tech, signing out. Cheers.